Hello, my friend. Today I just finished my works of the F-14 Tomcat, and I just uploaded to show you the complete my works on YouTube already, and you can check it if you want. And today I just going to do is I just might tell you a very small review of my recent work, especially painting, and and I can just compare with my past work of my F-14, F-18D, which is my favorite, and I can I've explained that a little bit difference between two my works, and you might be able to understand my detail of the expression. So basically these two models are basically painted by the same basic color, which is Mr. 306, as I tell you, and it's just mixed with the white, with to get more bright gray. And actually it is pretty hard to see through the camera, but even if I use the same basic color, number 306, as you can see, the brightness is much darker than F-14, right? But I use the same 306 gray. But the result is pretty obvious. I can see F-14 is pretty much bright gray, right? But basically I using a same basic color, and actually I just using quite similar techniques to both kit. I don't use the special effects for F-14, not at all. I just following the experience from F-18 to just doing the very same things into F-14, but the result is pretty different, and it's just because it's I can say many ways, but I can say one thing is that the difference is, I think the imagination is different. I mean, if I imagine the F-14 surface, which is more like ore than very get dirt and messy and whatever. So our imagination is always very effective for the painting sense. And of course the F-18 is dry or aircraft already, but I just pointed to still this aircraft is quite brand new aircraft. If I compare with F-18, F-14, or other F-4 Phantom or whatever. So I think I cannot say exactly what it is, but I think it's very comes from the imagination before I paint of the real aircraft. So even if you're doing the same techniques on the different aircraft, the result is a little bit might be different, of course. And this is very important things that I think I can say it's really up to your sense of feeling. If I compare with that one or that one, which expression do I like? I mean, which color do I like, right? And in this case, I just in recent time, I built a few very bright gray F-18 Hornets, so I just prefer to do like this, a little bit dark and more like, you know, high definition weathering effect, you know, like, you know, if I put the you know, if I do the very bright basic color, put a basic color paint first, this kind of expression will be easy to disappear, as I tell you. So the first step of the painting is should be a little bit dark, and F-18D Hornet case is pretty successful. So that's why I can show you the depth. I mean, the depth of the expression feelings is much better than F-14 Tomcat. And this is, I think, almost a couple months ago. It has already completed, and that was the first trying of doing with the very dark color base paint to my models. And even that was the first time, it was pretty success, I think. And be that as it may, my past work of F-14 Tomcat is still will, you know, be successful work, because actually I did so many things, you know, retouch to get satisfy my expression techniques. And if I compare with F-18 Hornet, I did 2 or 2.5 times more repainted the surface of the F-14 Tomcat. So, which is pretty tough work for me, because it's you know, I cannot get the result just only from the one time. So I just try 2 or, you know, 2.5 times, and which is very exhausted to get a nice result. But I could learn a little bit more, you know, experience from that. Even if the result is simply success, if it comes from just only one time, I haven't got a very nice experience from that. But in this time, just trying so many things, so the result is not satisfied, but from the experience feeling background, which is pretty successful, I think. And I just trying to put some extra paint, which is like white weathering color. This is the most used color on F-14 Tomcat in this time my works. And when I building F-18 Hornet, I didn't use so much. So I think the difference from, you know, the different brightness of the gray might comes from, I think, one of the reason I just put the white color onto F-14 Tomcat. But it is not only one reason. I think there are many reasons of the, you know, there is a many reasons, and one is, you know, I just prefer to use the very amount of the white. But basically, as I tell you, the reason comes from the imagination, right? If you have very specific and very clear imaging of the painting, or, you know, about real aircraft expression, result is always different. It's not simply comes from the just only techniques, or just only materials and colors and whatever. But so even if I use the same way and same techniques and same color, the result is pretty different. So when you try to make models and paint or whatever, at least you should have a very clear imagination, and it causes you a lot of difference between even if you read a magazine, if you read the DVDs, or if you read many tips from the outside, or if you have very specific and very clear imaginations, the techniques will be more sharpness to improve your techniques. So, and this two aircraft is 1/32, as you know, and it is pretty huge size, and especially F-14 case, it's pretty hard to store, right? So in this time, you can see that the main wing is slight to take off, easy to take it off, because it is very easy to paint, of course, and it's very nice to store when you don't show the exhibitions, or you don't see so much. It's easy to take it off, and once you go outside or for exhibitions, or you see to your friends, it's easy to slide in, because I just cut the few parts to get easy to install it. So at least you should think about the aftermath of the building the models. You can make a huge aircraft, yes, of course, but after you complete the models, the problem is always comes from the space to store, right? And I think that this aircraft should need, I think, the 600 by 600 square, or maybe 500 by 500 is definitely needed. And F-18 case, I think 400 and by 600 square is definitely needed to store the space. But in this model's case, I cannot fold in or take off any wings. I just can take off the stabilizer, of course, but otherwise I cannot take it off at all. So at least I should make space to store. And it's always it's always in my mind, and this is always my problem to store that huge aircraft anyway. And at least you should mention about that, especially if you're building with the basement to decorate, which is very easy to bring it on to other place, because you don't hanging on the aircraft itself. You can just handle the base, and it is not cause the damage on your aircraft model. But I think according from the when you put in your place, to making a basement is sometimes cause you problems, which is like a space problem. Like if you make a huge basement, you need a more space to store, right? So when I built our basement, I just prefer to make much smaller than original aircraft kit, which is at least I can just following the 3 wheels. So even the aircraft is very big, the basement can make much smaller than that, because I can just standing on the simply 3 wheels, so in that case I just can need it at least 250 by 250 square, I think. I don't need 300. And F-18 case the same. So I can make it in a huge diorama, which is like, you know, aircraft carrier surface, which is like, you know, many people do that. But I think if I do that, I have no place to, you know, store that, so I don't make it in this time. And if I make it, I just prefer to make a much smaller basement, and you know, it's always comes to my result, you know, it comes to my final problem always, how to store these kind of things, you know. And usually I go to exhibitions. I usually take 2 or 3 models to display that there. So at least I need a big cardboard box to store these stuffs. So especially if you are moving so much, if you go so much to, you know, to display other place, you need to reinforce the gear, right? In this case, in trumpeter case, which has a very strong metal shaft in the main gear and the front gear. So the I think the toughness is very nice. I don't think it's gonna be broke at all. No, it's very tough. And this is economy, and it also has the metal shaft in it, so the gear is pretty tough also. But as you know, F-18 case, the gear, it is, you know, it is not a model problem. It is a very real aircraft problem. It has a very unique, I mean, strange gear constructed and designed. So it cannot, of course, it cannot break easily, but if you push so much pressure on it, the gear will be damaged easier than this kind of, you know, F-18, F-14 or F-1 Phantoms type of the main gear. So F-18 case, I should take care a little bit more, much more than the others, because as I tell you, the main gear design is, I think it's in real aircraft case, which is pretty tough, I think. But in model case, the main gear is a little bit seems to be very weak, easy to you know, not break, but very weak from the pressure from upside. And so actually just doing masterpiece work on the F-18D Hornet in this time, and try to transfer to my latest work of F-14 Tomcat. So actually it is nearly copy techniques of, you know, according to from my past work. I just doing nearly the same material, same, you know, way to paint it. But you know, I think in conclusion, the result is pretty different. If you have an opportunity to see my work, maybe, you know, it is very hard. you can easily to identify the difference between the two models. So you can just see from the camera, and I think the realism from the real pictures is definitely better than F-18. The F-14 is pretty realistic, but according from expression of the modeling and painting, is much more better than F-14. F-18 is more like artistic, right? And actually, the real aircraft, it shouldn't be like that. But the interesting point it has, according from the it's like artistic paint. So when I look at the two models, which one do I prefer to look more interesting and funny? I think F-18 is definitely interesting expression, because you can see so much difference part by part. You can see very numbers of different expression on it, and the most important things that are that each expression is very clear to identify, right? You can see the white spot and brown, brown stain, and gray salty effect, and very tiny dirt on it. Each expression is very clear to identify the very proper difference of the brightness of the gray, which makes more, which tells you the more much more information that paintings tell you, and it is very fun to see. And otherwise, F-14 case, you can see at least many difference, but a little bit in my feelings, the expression will a little bit very flat. I mean, very too natural. Some you don't understand, but I can say you. It's more I think the two natural things that happens. And when I look at the aircraft, yes, it has many information, but each expression is not, it's not go step ahead, right? Each expression is a little bit weak. So the aircraft itself is, quite dirt, but I think it is a little bit not interesting. It's not pretty funny. It's just ordinary finishing of the surface of the aircraft. I think it is very up to the person who is which one is preferred to like. But in my case, F-14 is 65 point, and F-18 is nearly 85 point. It's pretty successful painting works I've ever had, and I try to remember that the feeling of the sense. I really try to translate it to F-14, but actually the result is different. It's not like that. It's not, if I try to do the same things and same, expression, try to do that, the result is not always the same.